Hey guys, it's Natalie and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about some May and June book releases that I'm super excited about. I haven't filmed one of these videos since October of last year. I don't know what happened, but I really dropped the ball with putting out release videos. So there's a lot of books that are coming out in May and June, so I thought I would talk about it today. I'm gonna do this like every 2 months, so like May and June, July and August, yada yada yada, because I feel like I can talk about multiple books in a short amount of time, so let's get into it. Starting with the month of May, a lot of these have already come out because I'm putting this video out a lot later than I thought I would, but the first release that I was excited for the month of May is Love's Recipe by Mila Nix. This one was released on May 1st, and this one is just a really cute little small town romance, and I just thought it looked really cute. And I think I heard about this over on NetGalley because I had NetGalley for like a little bit, but then I don't have it anymore, but that's for another time. But anyways, yeah, I'm super excited for this one. This looks really cute and I can't wait to read it. So up next, I'm going to be talking about the releases that were released on May 5th because a lot of books were actually released on May 5th. So the first one I have is Meet Cute Club by Jack Harbin. This is the first book in the Sweet Rose series, and this is just a cute little romance series, but this one specifically is a male-male romance, and it basically follows two guys who I believe are in a book club together. That's all I really know about it. I hope these synopses aren't like too vague. I'm gonna try to give you some information, but personally when I go into books I like to not know too much about them because I feel like a lot of the times in the synopsis it kind of spoils the whole book. I don't know a lot about a lot of these books, but I know enough to be interested, so I hope that's enough to get you interested as well. So yeah, as I go along I'm gonna be telling you guys which ones that I chose to pre-order, and this one was one of the ones I decided to pre-order just because it looked so cute, and it was only $5 for Kindle, so I don't know, it's really cute. So up next we have Once Upon an Eid, edited by S.K. Ali and Aisha Saeed, and this one is a middle grade anthology collection of little stories that take place during Eid. And personally I don't know a lot about Eid because I'm not very like well versed in Muslim traditions, but I would like to be, so that's why I wanted to pick this one up. And I feel like this would be a good introductory book to the concept of Eid because it is in a middle grade, palatable, easy format, you know what I mean? So I feel like this one would be really good, and I've heard a lot of people say good things about this. I also love S.K. Ali and Aisha Saeed so much, so I can't wait to read this one. The cover looks absolutely adorable and I just can't wait to read it. Also coming out on May 5th is The Tourist Attraction by Sarah Morgenthaler, and this one is another adult romance, and this one is the first book in a new series called Moose Springs, Alaska series, and this one basically follows two people who end up striking up a romance at a ski lodge resort in Alaska, and that just sounds so adorable. And even though it's like probably not the proper time of year for me to be reading this book, I still want to read it just because it looks so cute, and I don't know, I feel like there's so many great adult romances coming out lately and it's just so exciting. So yeah, super excited for that one. Also coming out May 5th is Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. This one follows two, I believe, half-sisters who reunite, and I know one of the characters is queer if I'm not mistaken, but I haven't read Elizabeth Acevedo's other book, With the Fire on High. I've read The Poet X by her and really enjoyed it, but I think that all her books sound interesting nonetheless, and I really like the cover for this one. The color palette is just absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I'm super excited for this one. It looks really good. Okay, so the last release coming out on May 5th is The Mermaid, the Witch, and the Sea by Maggie Tokuda Hall. And this one, all I know is it's like sapphic mermaids and possibly pirates. That's all I know about it. That's all I need to know about it. Also, the cover is absolutely stunning, and I feel like the longer you look at it, like the more details you notice, and it's just so gorgeous, and I feel like this would be perfect to read for summertime, but I don't know, it just looks so cute. So like I said, that's all I really know about it, but that's all I really need to know about it. Like, you got me at sapphic mermaids and possibly pirates. So there's only one release for May 7th, and that is Felix Ever After by Kaysen Callender. This one is an Own Voices story about a trans boy, and I'm just so excited to read it. It looks so good, and this one I actually did pre-order and it's already like in my possession, and I'm just so happy to have it. The cover is absolutely stunning, and just like the flowers, and he's got the beautiful top scars. It's just so beautiful. So I can't wait to read this one. Literally, I have been so excited for this book for so long, and I've just been waiting for it to get released so it can come to my house. So yeah, that cover is just absolutely stunning, and I just can't wait to read it. Up next, we actually have a ton of releases coming out on May 12th. The first one is The Boy in the Red Dress by Kristen Lambert, and all I know about this one is it takes place, I believe, maybe the 20s, and it has a murder mystery in it, and also there is a queer speakeasy, which sounds absolutely fantastic, and the cover is just so like intriguing, and like I can feel the mystery seeping off of the cover, and I just really want to read it because it just looks so good. So yeah, this one is coming out May 12th, and I just, oh my god, it looks so beautiful of a cover, and I can't wait to read it. So also coming out on May 12th is By the Book by Amanda Sillett. This one is a YA romance, and all I know about this one is it has to do with a main character who really likes literature and books and reading, and she applies a lot of themes from books and characters into her own life to like help her get by and to live every day, and I really like that. So yeah, that's all I really know about this one, and I just really love the color palette of the cover and the like the animation style. I don't know what that's called. Art style. But anyways, I really like it. It looks really cute, and yeah. Also on May 12th, we have The Henna Wars by Adiba Jagirdar, and this one is a female-female YA romance, and it follows two girls who have rival henna businesses, and that just sounds so cute, and I'm kicking myself for not pre-ordering this one. Usually I go through all the books that I could possibly pre-order for that month, like for example for the month of May, and I already picked like 2 or 3 to pre-order, and I don't want to just like pre-order like a ton of them, so I'm really kicking myself though because this one looks so cute, and I've heard such good things about it, and people have been giving it 5 stars left and right on Goodreads, and I should have pre-ordered it. But anyways, yeah, look at that cover. It's so beautiful. I really want to read it. Okay, so the last release I have for May 12th is The Trouble with Hating You by Sajni Patel, and this one is another adult romance, and this one is kind of like, I think like hate to love, enemies to love kind of situation, which I'm totally here for. And this one I really wanted to read because our heroine is a biochemical engineer, if I'm not mistaken, and she's like very career driven, and she doesn't want to get married at all, and her parents end up trying to set her up with someone who I think she eventually, you know, like. But anyways, this just sounds really cute, and I just love stories where like the woman is like badass and she's career driven. Like I just love that, and then like having her heart like soften in the book, it just, I love that trope. So yeah, absolutely can't wait for this one. It looks so good. I lied, that wasn't the last May 12th release. I actually have one more, and that is The Summer of Impossibilities by Rachel Allen, and this one, all I know about it is it's a fun summer YA contemporary, and there's 4 main characters, and they all have different things about them. It's very diverse, I heard, and I think a majority of the characters are also queer, so I'm here for it. But yeah, I really like this cover. I just love the colors, and I just think it's going to be a really fun, cute summer contemporary, and I feel like that's the exact kind of thing that people need to be reading right now. So yeah. So now we're moving on to all the May 19th releases, which there are quite a few of, and this is actually the day after my birthday, so like all these great releases are coming out like so close to my birthday, and it's like. But anyways, the first one I have is Real Men Knit by Kwana Jackson, and this one is an adult romance. And it basically follows 4 brothers in Harlem who, after their adoptive mother's death, are attempting to keep open the family knitting shop, and it just looks really cute. This is one of the ones that I pre-ordered just because it sounds so cute, and I really like the cover as well. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one. Also coming out on May 19th, as you probably are all aware, is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, which is the new prequel to the Hunger Games trilogy, and I believe it takes place 64 years before the original trilogy, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this is one of the ones that I did pre-order just because, I mean, I loved Hunger Games in middle school, and I feel like I have to pay tribute to that. And I'm also just really excited to kind of hear like the beginning days of the Hunger Games and like that dystopian universe. So I do plan on reading the Hunger Games trilogy soon and then dipping into this one. I apologize for the noise, but the last May 19th release is Beach Read by Emily Henry. This one is an adult contemporary romance, and it follows 2 writers who end up meeting, and they both have writer's block, and they end up striking up a romance. That's all I really know about it. I actually got this from Book of the Month last month, and I can't wait to read it. It looks so cute, and I feel like this will be perfect to read during the summer. But yeah, I can't wait for this one. So I have 2 more releases to talk about for the month of May. They both are on the 26th, and the first one is the hardcover edition of The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. This one is an Own Voices story about a mixed-race gay teen who finds drag and expresses himself through that and comes to terms with his identity through that. And I can't wait for the story. I think this was originally published in 2019, but I think it was either out of print or it was just only in paperback, and I don't know. I just didn't hear about this book before I heard that it was coming out in hardcover. I don't really know what happened with that, but I am really excited to read this one. It looks really fantastic. Okay, and the last release that I'm excited for the month of May is Something to Talk About by Meryl Wilsner, and this one is a, I believe, female adult romance, and this one has to do with like keeping secrets, rumors. That's all I really know about it. You can kind of tell by the cover, but like I said, I don't like to know a lot about books when I go into them because I like to keep my expectations open and I like to not know too much. Yeah, basically, that's all I know about that one, but it looks really good, so. Okay, so now we are moving on to the June book releases that I'm excited for, and I promise there isn't quite as many coming out in the month of June that I'm excited for as there was for May, but the first one is coming out on June 2nd, and that is You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson, and this one is a YA contemporary about a girl who lives in a very small town, suburbia, and she has a scholarship to like get the heck out of there, but her scholarship ends up falling through. But she finds out that there is a scholarship for prom king and queen, so she tries to get in on that, and I think along the way she ends up getting into a romance, and I think this might be female if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% sure. All I know is that it's a queer romance, and I'm just excited for it, and it looks really good. So up next, also coming out on June 2nd, is Asha and the Spirit Bird by Jess Binder-Bilon. And this one is a middle grade book, and this one I believe was originally published in the UK, but it wasn't in print in the US until June. And this one is basically a middle grade that takes place in rural India, and it follows a small girl who lives on a farm, and she gets guided by a spirit bird on a magical journey, which sounds really cute. And I think this also has a lot of Hindu mythology, if I'm not mistaken, which sounds really cool and really interesting, and I'm totally here for it. But yeah, I absolutely love this cover. It is so stunning, and I definitely want to start reading more middle grade books. So yeah, I'm super excited for this one. So up next, also coming out on June 2nd, is A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. And this one is a new YA fantasy series that looks absolutely fantastic, and it basically is inspired by West African folklore, which is really, really cool. And I love seeing all these African-inspired fantasies. But this one basically follows two people who are on a collision course to murder each other, and there has a lot to do with like the throne and them fighting over it. So like, I'm here for that. That sounds really awesome. And I just absolutely love this cover. I love green covers. I don't know why, but I'm always like attracted to green covers, and this one's no exception. I feel like I don't see a lot of green covers, but I really like this one, and I can't wait to read it. So the last book coming out on June 2nd that I'm excited for is Queen's Peril by E.K. Johnston. This is the newest addition to the Star Wars canon, and this one basically follows Padme's rise to power and her coming to Naboo and taking the throne, and it also surrounds her and her handmaidens and like how close they become, and this just sounds really good. And I still need to read Queen's Shadow. I also still need to read Ahsoka, but nonetheless, I'm excited for it. The cover looks really nice, and I can't wait to read it. So up next, coming out on June 9th, is The Falling in Love Montage by Sierra Smith, and this one is a female YA contemporary romance that looks so cute, and this basically follows a main character named, I can't pronounce his name to save my life, I'll put it here, Sayerzi. But anyways, she basically doesn't believe in happy endings, and she doesn't think like happiness is real because her mom is in a care home with early onset dementia, and it's basically just about her kind of getting her heart wormed into a little bit and falling in love. And I just love tropes like that where like one of the characters is like totally like, I hate love, I hate romance, and that's just because like they haven't had any yet. And so it's just, I love that trope. So this looks really cute. This is probably one of the ones that I'm going to end up pre-ordering. I haven't decided which ones I'm going to pre-order for the month of June yet, but it looks like this one might be one of them just because it looks so cute. And the other one I have for June 9th is All the Things We Never Knew by Liara Tamani, and this one is a YA contemporary, I believe a romance if I'm not mistaken, and it centers around like basketball if I'm not mistaken, which sounds really cool. And I don't read a lot of like sports related books just because I'm not super into sports myself, but I heard a lot of people rate this NetGalley e-arc really highly, so I want to read it. So But yeah, like I said, don't really know too much about it. It just looks like a cute YA contemporary, and I'm always down for those, so yeah. So up next, coming out on June 16th, we have I'll Be the One by Lila Lee. This one is another YA contemporary, and this one follows a plus-size bisexual Korean American girl who wants to be a K-pop star. And it's obviously kind of frowned upon because she's plus-size, but she's determined to be a K-pop star. And this cover is just so cute, and I love the color palette, and this just looks so cute, and I feel like this will be a really good like coming of age story about a girl who's trying to like fit in and be herself and stand out, and I just absolutely love the idea of this book, and I can't wait to read it. The other one I have coming out on June 16th is The Anti-Virginity Pact by Katie Whisper. Katie is a fellow booktuber, and her channel is called Kate's Book Date, and she's actually been on booktube for a really long time, and I've been watching her for a while, and I absolutely love her videos. And this is her, I believe, sophomore book, and I think the first one she published was a poetry collection, and this one is actually a full-length novel. All I know about this one is that it follows a priest's daughter who isn't very godly, and I'm very interested to read this. I also heard it's like very dark, it's very hard-hitting contemporary. I don't know, it just looks really cool. I really like the cover of this, and I'm probably going to end up pre-ordering this one because it's only like $4.99 to get it on Kindle, so yeah, I'm super excited about this one. So up next, coming out on June 23rd, is Hunted by the Sky by Tanaz Bethana, and this one is a medieval India inspired YA fantasy that sounds absolutely fantastic. The cover is so beautiful, and I just love this cover so much. Like, I love it. The colors is just amazing. I am definitely a cover whore. But anyways, this one is just, like I said, a medieval India inspired YA fantasy. That is all I know about it. But I have a couple of other books by Tanaz Bethana on my TBR, and her books have generally high ratings, so I'm really excited to read this one. I love fantasies that surround folklore or history or anything like that. That just looks so fantastic. Okay, so up next we have another June 23rd release, and that is Forest of Souls by Lori Ann Lee, and the cover for this one is so beautiful. Like, I just love this art style so much. But all I know about this one is that it is a YA fantasy that has a lot to do with destiny and sisterhood, and it just looks really good. And this might be one of the ones I end up pre-ordering just because something about it is just like calling me to it. I don't know, it just looks really fantastic, so yeah. So up next, also coming out on June 23rd, is The Order of the Pure Moon Reflected in Water by Zen Cho, and this one is an Asian-inspired novella, and this one has to do with a kind of ragtag group of thieves, and I've heard this is very reminiscent of a old martial arts film, and it's very action-packed, and I've just been wanting to read a lot more like novellas because I feel like those are very underrated in the booktube community because it's like, oh, it's a short book, but I definitely want to incorporate more forms of media into my reading, and novellas are one of those things, and this one just sounds really cool, and I just love the cover, so I can't wait to read this one. The last one I have for June 23rd is Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert, and if you guys saw my April book haul, you guys would know that I actually won a giveaway for an arc of this, and I'm currently reading it right now. Let me just say, I'm absolutely loving it. It's a basically companion novel to Get a Life, Chloe Brown, which I read in, I believe, February, and I absolutely loved it. Gave 5 out of 5 stars. I have also since read another book by Talia Hibbert, and I gave that one 4 out of 5 stars. I absolutely love her writing. It is so feel-good, funny, hilarious, witty. It's really just fantastic, and so far I'm definitely enjoying this one, and I love Danny as a character so much, so I'm going to make a whole video dedicated to a review for this once I'm done reading it. This one is also coming out on June 23rd, like I said, but I love this, so definitely pick this one up if you haven't read it yet. You can also read this as a standalone, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that, but you can definitely read this as a standalone. Okay, so lastly, I have a bunch of releases that are coming out on June 30th. The first one I have is Great Gatsby, the graphic novel by Fred Fordham and F. Scott Fitzgerald. So I'm just really excited for this because I love The Great Gatsby. It's one of my favorite classics of all time. I've read it 2 times and I definitely want to read it more, and this just looks absolutely fantastic. So what more can I say that it's a graphic novel version of one of my favorite classics, The Great Gatsby. It looks really good, so super excited for this one. Also coming out on June 30th is I Killed Zoe Spanos by Kit Frick, and I've never read anything by Kit Frick before, but this one sounds really interesting. It's a YA mystery thriller kind of thing that has to do with a case of stolen identity. And for some reason I really like that trope in books, like the stolen identity thing. Like, it's just really cool, and that's what this one has to do with. And it also has to do with like a very posh community, if I'm not mistaken. So this just sounds really cool and really interesting, and the cover is very intriguing. So yeah, super excited for this one. So the next release coming out on June 30th is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia, and this one is an adult historical fiction, and it basically follows a Mexican nuclear family in the 1960s, and that's all I really know about it. But like I said, I like to keep things pretty vague, or I'll just read the synopsis right before I read it. That's just how I like to read my books. I don't like to have too high of expectations going into it or anything like that. But yeah, I absolutely love this cover, and it just looks so fantastic. And I also have a couple of other books by Silvia Moreno Garcia on my TBR, and they just look really good. So I'm probably going to end up pre-ordering this one just because I'm so excited for it. So up next, coming out on June 30th as well, is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I've read one book by Riley Sager. I read Lock Every Door, and I also currently own Final Girls, and I am actually going to be planning on getting rid of that one just because I feel like I don't like to buy thrillers. I like to get them from the library and read them and return them, because I don't keep books that I don't think I'm going to reread, and thrillers especially so, because there's like a plot twist, and once that gets spoiled, it's just like there's no going back. So personally, I just don't like to buy thrillers anymore. So if I do end up reading this one, it will definitely be from the library. But all I know about this one, it has to do with a spooky town. That's all I know about it. So yeah. Next up, we have Love at First Sight by Sandia Menon, and I love Sandia Menon's books. She is one of my favorite YA contemporary authors ever. She publishes a lot of romance stories that feature Indian main characters, which is Own Voices Rep, and I just really like how she weaves together culture, friendship, romance. It's a good time. So this one is actually a ebook novella that is kind of a prequel to her newest book that's coming out, which is 10 Things I Hate About Pinky, if I'm not mistaken, which I'm also super excited for. But this one I'm probably going to end up pre-ordering because it's only 99 cents to get it on Kindle. And I actually just read another novella that was in this whole series. It was kind of disappointing. I'll talk about that in my May wrap-up, but nonetheless, I'm excited for this one because I just can't wait to see Dimple and Rishi and Ashish and Sweetie. I just can't wait to see them again. So yeah, I probably will be pre-ordering this one. And the last book that I am super excited for that is coming out in the month of June is the paperback edition of Dig by A.S. King. And I have been getting all of A.S. King's books in paperback just because if there's one book by an author that you can only get it in paperback, or like the hardcover is really expensive, then I will buy all of their books in paperback just so it's like a matching set. And I know that is so weird, but that's just like how I like to organize my books. So yeah, I'm super excited to get the paperback of Dig by A.S. King, and I really like the purple step back. I think it looks really cool. It's obviously not as gorgeous as the hardcover cover, which looks like this, but nonetheless, I'm still excited for this one, and it is one of Kayla over at Books and Lala's favorite authors, so I can't wait to finally dip into some of her work. So I think that concludes my book releases I'm excited for video, and like I said, all these are coming out in May and June. Some of them have already been released, and yeah, so I'm super excited for all of these. I haven't decided which ones I'm going to pre-order for the month of June yet, but I kind of gave you guys an idea. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to support these authors, pre-order some books, and shop at your local bookstores to support them during this time. But yeah, thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe down below, and hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss a single upload, and have a great day. Bye!